So good afternoon again, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker for this evening, Dr. Juliet Agocha. Is that the correct way to pronounce your name?
Yes.
Dr. Juliet Agocha is a loving mother of three and the tech founder of Ultimate Web Design, who loves helping others. As an academic mentor and the vice chairperson of the Policy Council member for the Head Start program, she's dedicated to making a difference in her community. A two-time author, Dr. Juliet loves sharing her insights and experiences. When she's not solving technical puzzles, you can find her enjoying quality time with her family. Dr. Agocha's warm smile and commitment to nurturing growth inspire everyone around us. Please join us in welcoming Dr. Juliet Agocha as she'll be speaking on transformational leadership, lead by example. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrea. It's such an opportunity and a pleasure to be here today. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Philip, and every single one of you. Whether I say your name or not, just know that I appreciate you coming today. And thank you so much, Andrea, for the opportunity to meet your community. It's amazing what you are doing. Appreciate it. Well, we're just going to jump right on the topic today. And I'm going to share my screen. But before we do that, I want to see how everybody's doing. Could you just use maybe something, a word that is not with you? Tell me how your day is going. Either amazing, boring, hectic, just anything. Just put it on the chat, please. Put it on the chat. Let me see how your day is going today. Okay, too quickly. Smoothly. Okay, keep it coming. All right, I'm seeing amazing. See, feeling like a real entrepreneur. That is the spirit. Oh, Patricia say hectic, productive. I'm seeing a lot of word, and I that is awesome. That is awesome. It's great to engage. The good thing is today is actually weekend eve. All right. If you can see my screen, please let me know so I make sure that you can. Second. Can everybody see my screen? Okay. I think I hear you. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Before we get started, and thank you, Andrew, for that wonderful introduction. One thing I wanted to add, is every information, knowledge I'm going to pass to you today. This is something I have researched intensively. And actually, my PhD dissertation was on transformational leadership. So this topic resonates so much with me. This is one of the topics that I enjoy talking about. And during my PhD, during my dissertation, I had to research intensively how to use transformational leadership to transform team. And I'm very pretty much aware that today we have leaders from different organizations. We have people aspiring to be leaders. So my presentation today is going to cover both. So if you are already leading, there is something for you. And if you are aspiring to lead, looking forward for a position, leadership position, there is also a lot of nugget for you. And let's jump into it. So transformational leadership, what is it even about? What is transformation? What is the word transformational before the leadership? It's about inspiring change. You are empowering others. You are driving success. You are helping, you are supporting, you are advising, and you are guiding. And these things does not come just like that. It builds up and you have to train your mind to get to this stage where people will now look up to you. You have to train yourself to whereby your action now inspire others to do something great. And that is all what transformational leadership is about. The leadership part of it, it comes when you have already mastered your own self in a way that you become a role model. People will now look up to you. And I'm going to share that with what I have today. And I'm going to blend it with real world experience, real world practical things that we see on every day. The objective for us today, I think I lost my slide. 1 second. All right. Okay. The objective for us today, for those that are looking to get into leadership position, if you are, can you still see my slide? I want to make sure I'm not losing anybody.
Yes, but you have it where we could see your full screen and your slides on the side, not the full slide itself. I don't know if that's how you wanted it.
No, I want to be able to, it has to be together myself. Okay. Is it better now?
No, it's still like a preview with just slides, your preview slides on the side. It's not
Mm,
full screen.
okay. See, definitely have it to full screen. See.
But we can see it if it's fine how it is if it's
Okay. Is it better?
yes, it's bigger now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So thank you so much for that. So the objective for those that are looking to get into leadership roles, you are admiring these positions. Maybe you have been presented this position, but you feel that you are not equipped yet to take up that responsibilities. The objective for us, for you today, is to develop the confidence and the skills needed to step into leadership roles. So after this presentation today, I want you to take up something, a nugget that is going to build your confidence, that you will say, you know what, I know I have it. I may not be perfect, but I know I can start somewhere. That is what that is my objective. That's what my goal for you today. And also, I want you to understand the principles of transformational leadership. What you don't know, you will not understand. But when you understand the principles of transformational leadership, you will be able to be well equipped to lead effectively. And is to how to inspire people around you. You have to start with the people around you. So that's what you're going to get also today. You have to build the foundation for effective decision making and communication. You can lead without making effective decision. What about when something doesn't look right? How do you feel it? How do you know it? How do you see 3, 5 years ahead of those following you? That's one thing I want you to get up for today. For leaders already in the position, you're already leading, you have your team, your group of team you're leading at work, in the community, job, anywhere. My objective, my goal for you today is to now start applying to strengthen your leadership skills, the principles to foster a culture of trust, motivation, and innovation within your team, is to improve communication, to delegate things to them and trust them in actually accomplishing it, and to also develop your authenticity, and that is and long-term success within your team. For those that are already in the position of leadership, this is the goal for me tonight, is to make sure that after this presentation, you will know how to, or you will, see a different perspective, how to, build trust, motivation within your team. Leadership, there are different types of leadership, different styles. So there is no such thing as one size fit all. No. So what that means is what works for team A may not work for team B. Now, leadership styles, it comes in different packages. It comes differently. We have autocratic, and those are the people that they are very authoritative. They focus on control. They want to control the process. That does not mean that this is wrong. That means that is their leadership style. There are situations that call for this type of leadership. Democratic, and I want you, as I'm talking about this the leadership styles, I want you to get ready because we're going to do exercise. I would like for you, before we get into the whole presentation, to just look at this and put on the chart. Like there's no wrong or right answers. Like where you are today, based on what you are seeing, I'm presenting how you think you are leading, whether you are leading team, you're lead, like even if you're leading yourself, what kind of leadership style do you think you are applying currently? So I want us to do that. And the first is authoritative. They focus on control. I'm seeing some okay, 7 ladies, awesome. um they focus on control. Democratic, they value diverse perspective, so they want to welcome people from different background. They want to hear you out. They want to see, how do you see the sun. They want to hear your perspective. That does not mean they don't know how the sun, this is just an example I'm giving. That does not mean they don't know like the color of the sun. They just want to hear how you see it. They value other people's perspective. And then we have the laissez-faire. Is these people, they intervene only when necessary. So literally, awesome. I'm seeing now. I have a slight control. Absolutely. Jaco, you are definitely doing fine. Um, they want to intervene only when it's necessary. So what that means is that is not my problem. They are not putting their hand on it. They don't want to do it. Transactional. Transactional leadership style is they based on reward and punishment to motivate performance. And what that means is they believe that if you give me this, then I give you that. So nothing comes for free. It's like telling a 5-year-old child to, I want you to eat your food, eat your breakfast, and if you eat your breakfast, I will give you candy. So now the child is going to eat breakfast because he's or she is excited because of the candy. So that is transactional. Everything about them is, reward and punishment. They use that to motivate. Servant leadership. Servant leadership is also one of my favorite leadership style. They serve, they support, they build. And when you walk in the community, just like myself, if you are a community builder, you would definitely get your hands in servant leadership. But today we are going to talk about transformational leadership. So our focus today is going to be on transformational leadership. And transformational leadership, they inspire, they motivate. I saw somebody said, I believe I'm a combination of all. Definitely, definitely. You can, and that is a very great, um, great chat right there, because you can also miss, I have seen people miss this different type. The situation you are will call for different type of leadership style for you to apply. It depends on the time of the day. Absolutely, Andre. All right. Thank you so much. I love the participation. Let's keep, the energy coming. Now, what is transformational leadership? Transformational leadership is a leadership style that inspires and motivates followers to exceed expectations, not just to achieve, is to exceed expectation, and by focusing on vision, passion, and leading by example. And this is where we are going to focus, to lead by example. The key traits and the characteristics you will find from a transformational leader, they are visionary thinkers. They literally think 3 to 5 years ahead. A transformational leader will be telling you, this person is not going to last on this team. You won't believe it. And 6 months later, the person will resign. A transformational leader will tell you something that is about, because they have this foresight. Another thing you will find from a transformational leader is integrity. They take honesty very serious. It's like, don't don't say it if you don't mean it, kind of thing. They are very authentic. Yeah, I know we live in a world of social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, a lot of them. All these platforms, people are trying to, portray the kind of image that they are not. A transformational leader don't have time for that. They are authentic, and that authenticity draw people naturally to them. They are very inspirational because they use their word to inspire. So if you spend time with a transformational leader, you will start thinking like them. That is one thing. You will start accomplishing things that you before you wouldn't be able to, because they have this mindset of I can, not I cannot. They are very inspirational. You don't know when you start accomplishing things, but you will start accomplishing things. Awesome. I see. That's me, transformational leader. Personal growth. And they are very, very, very precise about personal growth. They don't want you to stay where you are. You will come to them and say, I am confused on this, I can't do this. They said, that is okay. They take you from where you started to where you are going. A transformational leader, they know how to do it. To develop your personal, and professional life. They focus on the skills that you are not utilizing. Yes, they focus on that. And one thing I know is you would say, I can't do this, but they already see the potentials in you. They start, cultivating it. But why lead by example? Why is it important that we, as a transformational leader, why? The word why is something that everyone that joined us today, I would like you to define your why. It's very important when we know our why. One thing I would like to mention also is your why may be different from my why. Definitely, actually, because your why may not even make sense to another person, because it's your why, is your journey, is your story. So why lead by example? Leading by example is very crucial because it builds trust. It inspires, it motivates, it fosters a positive environment. Why lead by example is because you sell your brand without selling yourself. And this is one thing I always tell people, and I'm glad that we have entrepreneurs here. This is one thing I tell entrepreneurs, that before you start selling your product, like if you go to networking, people just want to hand over their card to you. They want to hand over, they want to tell you what they do. I am a this, I'm a that, right? Before you know it, they pull their card, they give it to you. But you have not even built any type of trust. But one thing I know for sure, and I've been doing this for a while, and I've been very blessed and opportune to be in different leadership, positions. One thing I know is people buy from who they trust. Now, what that means is, if you come to me and sell me something, now, do I trust you? Is not the price tag, is the trust I have in what you're selling to me. So transformational leaders, they build trust. They build a sense of positive environment. They foster that motivation, they inspires. And you can actually identify someone who just want to sell something and who want to build, who want to give. Because like I said, transformational leadership and servant leadership, it kind of go hand in hand. I used to be a servant leader for a government contract team, a team of 9. And I led them for 5 years, 5.5 years. And one thing that I'm grateful that I was able to achieve is to build trust. Build trust. Why lead by example? Because you want to foster trust. You want to make a positive impact on others. Life is not about what we give. It's not about what we take, it's about what we give. So a transformational leader, you want to make positive impact on others. When people think of your name, when people remember your name, what they want to see or hear is solution. So I will repeat that again. A transformational leader is someone, when someone think about your name, they remember solution, not problem. They remember solution, not marketing strategies. They remember solution, not somebody who is trying to sell them a product. They remember a solution. So that is what transformational leaders, that is one thing you have to endeavor to cultivate. When somebody remember me. And when I say solution, and you could be saying there, okay, how? I don't even have anything. I'm not even leading. So how is somebody gonna remember me for a solution? Even your friends, when they see your call, they know, oh, I know this conversation is gonna be amazing. So they're excited to talk to you because they know that maybe they're feeling down. They're feeling, kind of that day is not like kind of one of the best day. And they see your call, they're picking it, not that they're putting it away. So regardless of where you are in your journey, the stage you are, this applies to you. They avoid distraction. When you are a transformational leader, you can identify distraction quickly. You don't want to be distracted from your goals, because what happens is then you miss your why. Your why could be your children. Your why could be your family background. And I had a mentee, someone I was mentoring, and she's doing wonderfully. And I remember that her family had issue with addiction, and she I was taking coffee, and while I was drinking my coffee, and I said, "Well, grab a cup of coffee," and she said, "No, I don't want to drink coffee." I said, "Oh," she said, "I don't drink. I stopped drinking coffee." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because her family suffered from addiction, and she discovered that anytime she wants to drink coffee, it becomes part of her life. Like every day, if she doesn't drink coffee, she feel like something is missing. So she knows that this is going, she don't want it to result to addiction. That is her why. Now, if you don't understand that kind of person, you will say, it's just a coffee. She don't want to drink coffee. You see? So that is one thing about knowing your why. I've seen people across the journey of life. Their why is their family. My why I went to get my PhD. My why is because my family, I have my wonderful siblings. They're doing amazingly in their field, in medical field, different field. They are doing amazing. But once they get to, even one of my sisters, she have like 2 master's degree, and that is where they stop. master's degree. And because, I mean, they get comfortable, they have achieved their goals, because everybody's goals is different, right? But Maya said, you know what? I didn't come from a rich, I mean, it's rich because my parents gave me all they could afford, and I'm super grateful for that. But none had a PhD. So my why is I'm going to break foundational limitation in my family. And I'm sharing this with you to tell you how important it is to be authentic. So sharing your story build authenticity because it's your why. So you break that foundational limitation. And there is even people here that join us today. Your why could be similar to mine. Maybe, parents died early, something like that. And you said, you know what, I've seen people, their parents passed through cancer and they don't want to go through that journey again. They said, no, it ends with my parent. And they do everything to live healthy, to go to screaming is their why. You see, so always know your why, because your why is what guides you. 5 ways on how to lead by example. There are different, more than 5 ways, but I just want to narrow it to 5 ways on how to lead by example. You have action speaks louder than word. Action. Be transparent. People feel connected when they know you are transparent. Share information openly and honestly, fostering trust and understanding. Have a positive attitude, maintain a positive attitude, encouraging. So be very transparent. There is no need as a leader, if you want people to follow you, there is no need for you to, be dishonest. So be very authentic. Own your journey, own your story is yours and is going to inspire someone. Accept mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect, including myself. So remember that. Admit it when you fall short. Admit it as oh man, I missed the deadline, and learn from it and move on. Show your team what you are trying to lead. You can lead when you make as a leader. And now if now those already in the leadership position, you make a mistake but you don't want to own to it, guess what? You are not leading by example. You have to own your mistake and said, I missed the deadline, and I'm sorry, and use that as an opportunity for learning. Becoming a leader for upcoming leaders. Cultivate self-awareness. Know your strength. Know your weakness. I always tell people that no is a complete statement. When you said no, is a complete statement. Develop emotional intelligence. Understand and manage emotions effectively. And I would like to emphasize on emotional intelligence. It's very important. And emotional intelligence may sound like a big word. Emotional intelligence is knowing, how to separate it, how to understand different types of emotions and how to manage emotion. For example, someone from your team comes to you, emotional, complaining about A. Your duty as a leader, as a transformational leader, is not to soak in that emotion from, let's say, A, like come to you complaining about B, for example. Your duty as a leader is not to soak in that emotion and start judging A or B. So your duty is to say, okay, calm down, explain to me what happened. That is why emotional intelligence is very important. So your duty is you calm the situation, you acknowledge that they are hurt, you acknowledge that they are feeling bad. Acknowledgement is very important. Don't brush it off. And how you do that is, I totally understand how you're feeling, and I know that this thing means so much to you. Do you want to talk about it? So now your duty is not to jump, because if you see this person crying, now the other person is not a bad person, is a bad team member. No, a transformational leader, you have emotional intelligence. You could be, mentoring or coaching someone, and let's say somebody going through divorce. Of course, the person may not come to you smiling. Maybe the person is already broken. So your duty as a transformational leader is not to start, joining to cast blame on the spouse. Because if the other spouse tell you his or her own story, you will be so shocked and sad. What I heard from your wife or your husband is so different, right? But then you did not put on your transformational leadership hat. Now, as a transformational leader, when somebody come to you, regardless of the emotional aspect of the story, their life, you have to be able to control it. You have to be able to take control. You have to be able to be intelligent, to listen to both sides of the story. Embrace continuous learning. Even myself, I will tell you, like, I still read my books. I still, write blogs, articles. I'm still researching, I'm still learning. So embrace continuous learning. Never stop improving, because just like technology advances every day, like there's some new informations that are coming every day. So, continue learning. Build strong relationships. Connect with people on a deeper level. It's not about selling. When you connect with people, they will definitely ask you and say, what do you do again? What do you say your product is? What do you sell? Because what they are now seeing is no longer your product. What they are seeing is your authenticity. They are seeing your honesty. They are seeing your trust. Now, whatever you're selling to them comes naturally. So build strong relationship. Nurture relationship is very important. Be a role model. Exhibit the values and behaviors that you expect from others. Be a role model. How to lead effectively. Now, we talked about the why. Now, this is the how. How can you lead effectively? You have to set a clear vision and purpose. One thing is, don't set people up for failure. Define your compiling mission for your team. Now, this may not look or sound um, okay with everybody, but is your vision, is your purpose, is the solution you're trying to provide for if you are on a big organization, for the benefit of the organization. If you are an entrepreneur, it's for the benefit of what you are trying to achieve. So don't be discouraged when someone does not understand your vision. It's your responsibility to set it clear. It's their responsibility to understand it. So you cannot break people's head to say, I'm going to put this information in your head. No, but it's your responsibility to be clear. For example, my vision is ABC. Now, you are there to not guide towards that vision and that purpose. Communicate effectively, be transparent, and encourage open dialogue. Be very transparent. There is nothing wrong in owning your journey. Don't tell a different journey. Your journey is what makes you unique. Even in your team, acknowledge that if you are in a position where you are managing, dynamic and, different culture, understand that people come from different backgrounds. They come from different culture. They come from different perspective, life history. Someone who is dealing with loss And someone who has everything like a gold, like a rose, like Rolls Royce, is not going to understand things the same way. So come to people's level so that they can understand what your vision is. So what I'm trying to say is, you may communicate with A, like a 5-year-old, and you communicate with B, like a 20-year-old. So, but at the same time, what you're trying to do is what? Make the vision clear. Recognize and reward success. Let people know that what they did, you appreciate it. Don't be stingy with compliment. Let people know that, thank you so much for taking the initiative to lead. I appreciate it. You don't know what you just did. You just build their confidence. Maybe that is their first time leading. Maybe that is their first time taking initiative. But once you said that, they're like, I did it well. Should, and they do again. And now this is how you build a leader. This is how they turn from a follower to a leader. So recognize and reward success. Celebrate achievement and motivate your people. Motivate your people. Empower and delegate. Empower them by saying, you can do it. I nominate you to do this. Delegate that task and trust them to accomplish it. There is a research, and I'm going to also share the research with you by Global Workforce. And that research shows that the oldest employees are 62% likely to understand performance expectation. So people who are older than 35 years, can you believe that? They are more likely to understand expectation. People who are 35 years under 35 years, they are more not to understand expectations. And I'm going to share actually that. I'm going to share this thing with you. Second. So how, and this is it, if you can see my screen very well, here, older adults have more clarity, but no one is crystal clear. And this is people over 55, between 45 to 54, 35. Look at the percentage, imagine. And only 1 in 5 employees always understand expectations. So if you have 5 people in your team, it's telling you that it's only 1 person that is understanding your expectations. Imagine. And this thing was 2023. So it's very new because this is 2025. So this is the data. And I love to use data because data guides me in what I do. So this tells you that people may not understand your vision, but you have to motivate. As a transformational leader, you have to inspire them, motivate them, encourage them to get there. And how you can do that is, the how is train, train, train. Now, if you are in the corporate organization, train your employee, train your employees and your managers. Provide measurable metrics and goals. Cultivate a workplace culture that values transparency about employees and performance. So people do more when they visualize things. When they visualize it, it becomes more realistic for them. So provide metrics and measurable goals. And these are the real world examples of transformational leaders. Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Nelson Mandela, my favorite, Abraham Lincoln, Nadella, is a lot of them. And they use different, types of leadership to achieve this. And Martin Luther King, these are wonderful, inspirational, world leaders that have led, that have set example And, regardless of the controversies, behind Elon Musk right now, but, I still want to, let's also give credit to the innovation that he has implemented. So definitely, they use, vision, innovation, empowerment, resilience, change, empathy, growth mindset. They use all these in the achieve the goals. Leadership in action. And now I am, wrapping up. Leadership in action. Transformational leader, one of the things I would like us to do today is identify one transformational leader that you admire. Now, this is your action item from this webinar today. Identify one person you admire. It could be a friend, a coworker, a stranger. It could be somebody you have not even developed too much bond, but you admire them. It could be a male, a female. You love the quality you see in them. What qualities do you have that inspire you? So look at their quality and see, this is something I would like to, cultivate. So identify, this is your action item. Now is think about somebody, that you want to, like, you admire their action, you admire how they carry themselves. And this week, practice leading by example in one aspect of your life, whether at work, home, or in your community. Action. Transformational leadership is action word. You have to take action. First, identify someone that you admire, a friend, co-worker, stranger, whoever. Now, practice it by one of that characteristics the quality you see in that person that you like, practice it this week. And to wrap up, the key takeaway for this presentation on transformational leadership, leading by example, is leadership is about action, not a position. Leadership is an action. You pull your sleeve up and you get into the action, you get into the work. Your influence comes from what you do, not your title. How you motivate people, how you inspire them, how you live your life is what transformational leadership is about. Self-awareness, emotional intelligence, I spoke about them, is very essential. Great leaders understand themselves and others. Effective leaders inspire and motivate. Your team's energy reflects the passion you bring. Trust and authenticity have to build it strongly is very important. And this comes from what you are doing authentically. Leading with integrity fosters loyalty and respect. Continuous growth is the key to success. Never stop learning, adapting, and improving as you grow. And I want to close the presentation and a call to action. And my closing thought for you today, you have heard about transformational leadership. You have seen different types of leadership and the type of way they lead. You have heard, how to be a transformational leader. You have also heard about the why. Why do you want to be a leader, or a transformational leader, and why? What is your why in anything you do, whether at work, entrepreneurial life, community, every day? What is your why? A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And this is from John Maxwell. Be the leader you wish to follow. Inspire others with your actions, not your word. Start your transformational leadership today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Take action now. And thank you so much, everyone, for attending. And I am now open for any question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Juliet. So Everyone, please come off of mute and ask your questions. We'd love to see you. And you can share your thoughts about the presentation.
Hello, I will say thank you for this presentation. It was good. I do have a question as far as what did you say? Not IQ, but EQ, the intelligence, and how do we work on that? Like, how do we have to take courses, take classes? How can we make sure we are intelligent and emotional intelligent, not just dealing with our feelings to make sure we can actually serve the people that we are leading?
That is a wonderful question. And how you can build emotional intelligence is by applying the things that you know. Now, start with where you are. There are a lot of courses out there of emotional intelligence. Absolutely. I encourage you to, if you are a reader like myself, I encourage you to grab one. However, you have to practice, you have to start with the little things. And that little things come with trusting your judgment. Now, how do you trust your judgment is when you have, don't be too quick to conclude on something. So have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. And how that happens is don't take things personal. When you don't take things personal, you start having a positive perspective. So emotional intelligence have to deal exactly with your mindset. It start with the mind. When the mind is positioned right, is very is more easier to deal with emotional intelligence. And this does not come, like it's not like like one day thing. You have to build it, and practice makes perfect. And reach out to mentors. I mentor, like freshmen, which is going to school and all. Reach out to mentors. Some of these things you can't do it by yourself. And actually, if I also have a mentor, so also reach out to experts that is within your network to help you.
Okay, thank you. So that's hard to work on not getting your feelings involved. So I do appreciate. But my last question is, what will be your favorite book on that subject? Since I do enjoy reading and I can get a lot of information from books.
I don't have one I want to endorse publicly, but one thing I'm going to recommend for you is if you go to Amazon and read the reviews. I always love to read reviews and see what others are saying. I'm not going to say this one is better than this one. So because like as an author myself, it's something like we like to cultivate, like, you know, positive environment. So nobody is greater than another person. An author is an author. I'm a two times author. So go to Amazon, places like Amazon, see emotional intelligence books, see the reviews, read on the reviews, see what people are saying, and grab one for yourself. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Sorry, I tapped it in the comments. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, it's Philip here. Sorry, I joined late. But I got some valuable insights from what you just shared. But I just want to ask a quick question. Like, as a leader, you are managing a team, and a team member um fails to deliver on a task because of a personal issue, say a financial setback. And how do you, as a leader, come in to manage? How do you manage that situation? And considering the fact that the team member is faced with that financial setback, and everything around the person is centered on how to solve that financial issue. and you as a leader, you need to like bring him up to the game to deliver on a task. How do you come in and manage that kind of a situation?
Thank you, Philip. That is a wonderful question. And I'm sorry for whoever going through that life is a journey, not a marathon. So my, you know, sincere, heartfelt um acknowledgement to the situation. Now, to answer the question, things happen. As a transformational leader, your most important task or your most important person on the team is not actually the one that is doing well. As a leader, your most important task on the team is the one that is struggling as a transformational leader. So what that means is the person who already got it together, who is doing wonderfully, the person can leave that job tomorrow and go another place. They can receive a higher pay and they will leave, right? So, but the one struggling, you may be the only solution they have. Now, because of that, your most important task on the team is not the high performing team. Is there that one struggling? And I love that you brought this question up because a lot of people focus on the high performing team, the high performing employee. The high performing employee has already built the skills they need. They have already built the knowledge. They have already built the capacity. So if that place is not really conducive and they receive a higher pay somewhere, they're gonna go. Now, that one struggling and is a personal financial issues. This is where you comes in. You have to lead by empathy. I would strongly not recommend you as a leader to fire that person. Now, I acknowledge that their personal life may be intervened with their professional tasks. Now, what about if you offer, and it depends on, the team, the organization you lead. What about if you offer about, giving them maybe PTO to figure out whatever it is in their life? And PTO is personal time off. What about if you offer them personal time off so that they can figure out whatever that is? And what about if you give them their sick leave? That is if you have that. Like I said, it depends on the organization and depends if that individual have something like that. Now, let's in a situation where they do not. What about you encouraging? Because that's what a transformational leader does. You encourage. So and I also acknowledge that things like this can also burn you out as a leader, but definitely your first action should not be to fire that person. Your first action is to help them get a solution. And if that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. And they will remember you. They will remember you and said, Philip gave me a chance when nobody did. Trust and believe me, they will remember you. I still remember the first manager that gave me a chance 15 years ago. I still remember him and we're still connected. I still have his cell phone number and I text him on his birthdays. Sure.
Okay, I just want to also ask, like, as a leader and as a transformational leader, are you allowed or do you have that capacity to like step into people's personal lives to offer kind of guidance, solutions, or things to do in order to like tackle their personal issues that they are having? Like, are you allowed, do you have that capacity to give them like guidance on how to manage their finances, things to do to overcome their financial setbacks or things like that, just to step into their personal lives? Or should you have that maintain that thin line of being only a leader at the workplace and not stepping into people's personal lives and trying to solve their issues for them?
Yes, and I will definitely, as a transformational leader, you have to set boundary for professional development. Don't step into their personal life. What happens is it gets messy along the line, and also you want to be a leader. So you don't want to lose your credibility of a leader. So what happened is when you leave the leadership role, let's say this person is going through a financial problem, and now you from that, you want to offer them money, for example. Now, what happened is you start building something outside the professional environment, and that could get messy. So stay as a leader, provide resources, provide guidance, provide encouragement, provide motivation, but don't go into personal space of knowing things such as how much, like you may already know how much they make because you're the manager, you already know, but don't get into, okay, how did you spend this money that you are now out of cash, right? So don't get into that, because you still want to maintain your leadership position. You still want to sit, pretty solid as the leader. And one thing that loses credibility is when you become too accessible. Don't be too accessible. You are a leader. That is like motivate, inspire, encourage, but never be too accessible to lose your credibility as a leader.
Great. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Am I allowed to add to that response?
Absolutely, please.
Because I was here just smiling when you said, have boundaries. And if somebody is going through a financial situation, I know persons who would go through financial situations and they would ask to borrow money. And I believe the quickest way to sever any relationship is to enter a transaction where you lend somebody money with the expectation of them paying you back. Because that ruins friendships. I've seen it time and time again. So my advice to anyone who find themselves in that position where you are being asked to loan money, only loan what you are willing to give away, with no expectation of it being returned. Like I don't loan money. I'd rather say, let me give you something and you don't have to pay me back, because then there's no expectation. I don't have to run you down. You don't have to avoid me, and it doesn't feel awkward. So that's how I live. It's like, if I can't give it to you, then I don't want to loan it to you. That's a word of caution. So do we have any more questions? Because we're at that point in our meetup where we want to thank our speaker for this amazing presentation. And Dr. Juliet, can you stop sharing your slide so I could bring up my little quick slide? Thank you very much. Now I hope I can find it. I have too many windows open. Okay. And Philip, you did not answer me, so I don't think you answered me.
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Okay, I asked if you wanted to thank our speaker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate this.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Philip. I'm
All
waiting.
right. Okay, so on behalf of BAPMC, we want to take this time to appreciate our speaker, Juliet Agocha, on the wonderful presentation and inspiration that she shared with us in our meetup today. So this is a way of appreciating you and also making you like a member of our family. We yeah we see you as one of us now, and we want to give you this certificate to appreciate you for sharing this good lesson with us, and we also hope to have more meetups and gain more from you in future. So thank you for having your time, for giving us this time and the great lesson that you shared with us.
Thank you so much. This means a lot to me. I totally appreciate this. Thank you.
And thank you so very much. Philip, you did an excellent job. Thank you for that as well, because I know it was short notice. I like to put my team members on the spot and just give them a task. Delegate.
Yes.
So, Philip, you definitely did well. So, Dr. Agocha, thank you so much again on behalf of BAPMC. What you shared with us was so refreshing and timely. And I will tell you that this week, I think this week, Monday, I probably shared in our WhatsApp group talking about fixed mindset and growth mindset. So when I saw you, you had the slide come up and you started talking about it. I was like, okay, this is confirmation that we were on the right track with our conversations and how persons need to always try to practice having a growth mindset and stop allowing those limiting beliefs to put them in a position of a fixed mindset where they feel as though they can't do something, or they're not worthy enough, they're not good enough, they're not capable enough, they're not smart enough. Because I am of the belief that everyone can accomplish anything that they put their mind to once they just apply themselves to it. And you really showed us in this presentation how having those leadership skills and being a transformational leader can be so inspiring for so many other people. And you never know who in the world is watching you. So you always lead by example and try to find those persons who inspire you to be a better version of yourself and be a better version of yourself to inspire other people. So that's what I'm taking away from you, to, lead with authenticity and to just have integrity in everything that you do and let your actions speak for themselves. Like, you don't have to defend yourself. People know your worth. They know what you're about. They know your principles and your values. And it speaks for itself, and you shine in the world. So thank you so much for your encouragement. We really appreciate you. We have a few minutes left in our session, but I will stop our recording.